Mixed martial arts is no easy sport. Fighters have to go through very rigorous training regimes to qualify and win. While some may think that all these fighters do is train 24/7, many enjoy their free time just like any person would. If you're curious about the hobbies of top MMA stars, then look no further, as today we'll be discussing the favorite hobbies of some of the top MMA fighters. Let's get to it. Starting off with gambling. It's not surprising that a high-stakes sport like MMA would also have some fighters who enjoy playing other high-stakes games, which involve less getting your teeth kicked in and more putting your wallet on the line. Even Dana White, the current president of the UFC, is known for being a big fan of blackjack and plays rounds in his free hours in all sorts of casinos. It's no secret that intense combat sports are mainly associated with the glamorous casino lifestyle that's typical of Las Vegas. Many MMA fighters are known to visit casinos in order to relieve stress in between matches and make some quick bucks on the side. Sometimes when these stars aren't able to go to physical casinos, they end up resorting to playing online poker. For example, Lex Veldhuis, who, other than being popular in the MMA world, is also a pretty big celebrity in the world of online poker. He's even a member of many pro poker teams and loves playing and streaming poker tournaments on his socials during his free time. The man also once finished 15th back in 2020 during the PokerStars Scoop Tournament's main event, taking home about $60,000. Then there's also Terrence Chan, who's not only well known in the online poker sphere, but has even won 2 Scoop bracelets at the same tournament as well. If you've got the interest and the money to play such games, then you can learn a thing or two from these stars. But not all hobbies require putting your money on the line, such as dancing. If there's one thing that combat sports and dancing have in common, it's that both require an impressive amount of focus, skill, stamina, and footwork. As a matter of fact, many MMA fighters turn to dance in order to practice and improve their footwork. However, something that originally started off as a simple training exercise can end up being something those fighters end up enjoying doing in their free time and even make it their hobby. Plus, dancing also has its advantages. You don't need a gym to dance, it can be done anywhere, so you can just train wherever you want while also having a good time doing it. Now that's a win-win situation if we've ever seen one. Famous stars such as Israel Adesanya and Paige Van Zandt have always kept their fans entertained with their moves both inside the ring and outside of it. They even sometimes show off some of their favorite moves as a celebration after winning a match. Not only does it help entertain the audience, but it's also a quite effective psychological attack on their opponent. Just imagine getting knocked out and then your opponent busts a move on top of your limp body. You're going to be going to bed crying, that's for sure. However, some hobbies don't even require you to do a lot of body movement, such as gaming. We can all agree that gaming is one of the best ways to relax and escape the stress of our daily lives. It gives us a chance to not focus on our troubles and simply enjoy some great stories and gameplay. So for MMA fighters, who arguably have some of the most stressful jobs in the world, it makes sense for there to be some avid gamers in their midst. Many fighters, both retired and present, use video games as their sanctuary and escape points. Some even use them to improve their performance and hand-eye coordination to fight better. Most MMA fighters have also had guest appearances on video game talk shows where they've openly declared their love for the activity. For example, ex-UFC stars Ronda Rousey and Mighty Mouse have taken their love for video games to another level by having several social media accounts for their gaming-related activities. But sometimes, a fighter may just want to do something relaxing that requires little to no effort at all, such as reading. The quote, "a healthy body requires a healthy mind," holds true for many people who prefer the comfort of sitting somewhere quiet and enjoying the company of a good book while sipping some hot chocolate with 2 extra marshmallows. Speaking from experience, of course. Even some of the most famous MMA fighters live by this rule, which is completely understandable, as anyone who comes home every day after exerting their body to its utmost limit would just want to chill out and relax. They can keep their bodies healthy through strict exercise regimes and feed their minds through reading. For example, when he's not fighting in the ring or practicing his moves, Robbie Lawler, a former UFC champion, loves to read and listen to audiobooks. He emphasizes the importance of reading and admits that it's good to take some time to feed the mind. Another well-known fighter, Forrest Griffin, is not only a fan of reading, but also writes his own novels. He's even a New York Times best-selling author, among other hobbies. MMA requires a ton of discipline, dedication, and a healthy state of mind, and the best way to keep the mind engaged is, you guessed it, through reading. Some fighters even use their creativity in places other than the ring, such as cooking. MMA fighters not only have to follow rigorous exercise regimes, but also make sure to follow a fixed diet plan that gives their body all the nutrients it needs while not causing them to lose their physique. While most fighters hire their own chefs in order to take care of their dietary needs, some prefer to do the work themselves. For example, Josh Salmon, the UFC middleweight fighter, who's known for having quite a healthy lifestyle, even has his own original recipes which were inspired by his father's cooking. In an episode of Cooking with Champions, he made one of his favorite dishes, the salmon stew, which takes a basic stew and adds in everything else your average MMA fighter needs to stay in shape. shape. Another fighter, Robbie Lawler, who also enjoys cooking, is known to make some killer Korean barbecue, the things we do to have a taste. However, some fighters also prefer to stick to their fields and engage in other types of extreme sports and activities. For an adrenaline-pumping sport, such as MMA, some superstars love to get their daily dose of adrenaline through other extreme activities. Some of these fun, extreme activities include stuff like skydiving from thousands of feet in the air, scuba diving into the deep, dark depths of the ocean, surfing some killer waves, climbing up mountain faces, skateboarding, car racing, etc., etc. The perfect example of one such MMA fighter is Donald Cerrone, more popularly known by his ring name Cowboy. He's an adrenaline junkie who loves extreme activities outside the octagon and gym. Meanwhile, while some fighters enjoy collecting trophies, they also love to collect all sorts of other things. Starting a collection is one of the most basic forms of hobbies, which can range from collecting some common everyday stuff such as seashells, coins, and stamps, to a bit more uncommon and often expensive items such as exotic cars and antiques. One such fighter is Brandon Thatch, a UFC welterweight who enjoys collecting different kinds of skulls. Yes, you heard us right. Not only does the fighter enjoy knocking the heads off of his opponents, but he also keeps a collection of his own. While most of the skulls in his collection are just decorative, he also has a bunch of actual human skulls in there too, though where, and most importantly how he got them, is something we don't want to know. Other fighters have relatively normal collections, such as Conor McGregor, Israel Adesanya, and Anthony Pettis, who have a very impressive collection of both vintage and modern sports cars. A bit more expensive than collecting human skulls, but hey, at least they're not human skulls. Is everyone in the UFC just okay with that knowledge? Anyway, moving on. And lastly, many MMA fighters also like to play around with firearms. Shooting can be a pretty therapeutic activity, and in controlled environments, it's both safe and fun to do so. Whether it be real guns or fake ones, many MMA fighters have hobbies which revolve around the use of such firearms. For example, UFC featherweight Chad Mendes enjoys hunting as a hobby and shares images of his trophies on his social media. But he doesn't just hunt for fun. He takes his kills and uses them to prepare his meals as well, a good source of fresh and healthy meat. However, some fighters prefer using fake guns for their hobbies, such as Donald Cerrone, the UFC welterweight, who enjoys a round of paintball with his friends. You can often see him posting images of his new kits and gear, as well as clips from his paintball games over on his Instagram account. That's a wrap for this video. Do you know about any other hobbies that MMA fighters have? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.